Earlier, our lives were very simple. We would wake up in the morning, go ahead in the shower, get ready, and go into our classes or our university to attend any classes that we have. But now there is an intervention which is called the laptop. As much as technology has helped us progress and connect with each other, it has also led to a lot of different problems. And in this video, I'm going to help you understand how do you go ahead and focus into a webinar or into any online classes that you're taking. So let's get started. Hang on, before we go ahead and do that, I have something really special for you. I have created a freebie with top 5 strategies that I have used in my career, and I'm going to share that with you in a step-by-step process so that you can go ahead and ace the next step in your career. Go ahead and download it right now, it's in the description box. So as we were discussing, as much as technology is easy, it is also exhausting to be in front of the laptop 24/7. So in this video, I'm going to tell you what are some of the strategies that you should be using to make sure that you're focused, you're able to complete any courses that you've signed up for, and you're sort of able to commit to yourself to go ahead and finish one thing online and then move on to the next thing. But if you're new here, by the way, go ahead, like, share, and subscribe to my channel so that you are always updated with amazing content on careers, personal development, professional development, and any and everything that will help you grow in your life. The first tip that I have is go ahead and treat it as if you were attending an actual university or an actual webinar or a class. Usually what we do is if we have to attend something at 9 o'clock, we wake up at like 8:55 or at the most 8:45 in the morning and then just get up and open the laptop. Everybody knows about the Zoom uniform, right? Although it is very comfortable to be in your pajamas and then just pop in a shirt on top of it, I would highly recommend you to go ahead and do something as your morning routine as you usually would if you were going physically into the university or a class. So have a set routine into waking up, doing your morning chores, your morning routine, having your breakfast, getting dressed up, and then sitting in for your online class. Now what this will do is it will automatically switch your brain from knowing that okay, now I am done from my normal daily things and now I have to go ahead and learn something new. The more we are regular with our rituals and our habits, we know that we have to do certain things at certain time only. So we will not slack off or we not push things for later. Now imagine if you had to go into a class at 9 o'clock or if you had to submit something at a certain time, you would have a certain window in which you would work towards it. So even when you're working from home, it only makes sense that you stick to the same routines and the same kind of rituals as you would if you were going in physically to the university. The second tip is to have a dedicated everything. So right from a dedicated space to a dedicated calendar to a dedicated time for you to do certain things in your day. What you want to do is you want to have a separate corner in which you actually go ahead and study, or you're attending a webinar, or you're doing anything online in terms of consumption. In this way, what you're doing is you're tricking your brain to think or feel that you're doing something important, and now is the time where I have to be alert and I have to consume more information. The more you consume information in a location specific way, the more your brain is going to be able to adjust to it. So think about it this way, right? Like if somebody asks you, hey, what did you do on your vacation when you went to Paris the last time? And you know what you did specifically because it is location specific. So our brains work really well when we force information into it in coherence to either visuals or in terms of location. So make use of that and have one specific workstation or a desk in your house where you're working from. When it comes to a dedicated time, you want to make sure that you have a certain time slot as you would while you were in your university for say cooking, for extracurricular activities, as well as your work routine. A lot of times we just get zoned out and then we like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna do this later, and then we push it for later. So then we are actually on our phones, we're doing something else, and we're very easily distracted. But if you can just take your phone away even when you're on your Zoom call or on your webinar or doing any other activity online, and have a dedicated time for the consumption of phone that will make a clear distinction of what your brain needs to do at a certain point of time. Next, you want to also make sure that you have a dedicated work calendar. So in your work calendar, you want to block a time for attending the classes, for going ahead and doing your homework, for going ahead and doing your workout. So work in a schedule wise way so that your 24 hours are dedicated for doing certain things. In reality, if you see, we actually have more time, right? Because we are not consuming time traveling, we're not doing a lot of things that we would do otherwise. But then why is it that we're feeling overwhelmed? The only reason is because we're not able to separate our time, or we're not able to dedicate certain things. So right from a dedicated time, schedule, calendar, and a workspace, you need to separate different things differently and then see how much of an effect it has in your life. The third tip is to split your day for doing different types of activity. Now, earlier when you were in your university, or if you were attending something in person, you were actually spending time doing different activities that required your brain to process at different levels. Okay, so something like this, like if you were driving, it was more of, okay, just a drive, you don't have to use your head so much, but you have to be attentive. If once you reach the campus, once you're actually in the class, that's where you're consuming information. Post that, if you're hungry, you're actually thinking, okay, what should I eat? Then you direct yourself to the vending machine. On the way, you're sharing pleasantries, you're meeting people, and then you go ahead and you eat something. So your brain is so used to doing different things, and in between that, there is a time gap of say 1-2 hours where you're consuming information, and then there is a break in between. You want to do the same thing. So going back to the earlier point where I mentioned about having a dedicated calendar or a schedule, I want you to think of having one activity in the day that would require an hour or 45 minutes just for yourself, and do something that you like to do. For example, if you can't go out right now, you can do journaling. You can do something at home like a Zumba class, or anything that will make you feel good about yourself, or cooking, like any activity that you would be doing otherwise if you are not doing whatever you're doing today. So the idea is to break your day into different activities that require different type of brain functionalities, and bring in a little bit of creativeness into your day as well. The reason why this works is, initially when you are going into a certain place to attend a webinar, or if you're going to your campus or your university to go into different classes, once you finish one class, you're traveling to the other end of the campus. Like that's what used to happen to me when I was at Willamette University, and we would have to travel so much, right? We would travel from one end of the university to the other. Or if you're going in for a webinar, okay, usually when you pay for a webinar, you actually go and attend it in person, but now everything is online, so you're not able to have that personal human touch, because of which you're feeling isolated. You're feeling like, oh my god, I'm doing everything on my own. So to avoid that, you can go ahead and actually have a virtual study group as well. That's one of the great solutions that even I have found out, to understand who is in the same boat as you, with whom can you actually go ahead and learn new things and grow together. So have an online study group, get in touch with your classmates or people who are doing the same things, and then you can exchange ideas, have a dedicated time to actually meet virtually and do things together. The fourth and the final tip is to change the aesthetics. Now, we all get bored of doing the same things, right? Like imagine if you're wearing the same clothes every day, everybody would be like, oh my god, you need to change. Well, except if you're Steve Jobs or if you're Mark Zuckerberg. But anyways, coming back, we need to keep changing things, right? Like we need to keep changing the way we dress, the way we work in a certain place. That's how human nature is. So you want to change the aesthetics of where you're working as well. So if you have a dedicated workspace, you want to make sure that you're changing it. Say maybe in the second half of the day, you want to sit on a dining table and work, or have a good way in which you're working on the bed as well, not slouching, not hurting your back, but in a very comfortable and a professional way too. So there is a bit of a relaxation also, and then you're actually working as well. Second thing that you can do in aesthetic is to make sure that you're going on a 10 to 15-minute walk in the afternoon, maybe after lunch. That will break your monotonous working style, and that will not give you the afternoon slump as well. So try that out and see if an afternoon walk also helps you, just for like 15 to 20 minutes, and then you can get back to work as well. If you're facing a wall, or if you have a very dim lighting in the room, that also can be very exhausting, because then you're taking more energy to focus on the laptop or on the screen, and then your brain is also consuming so much of information, right? So if that is the case, then add in some greenery into the room. Little plants, like I have this little guy here, so little plants or something will help a lot. And then you can also change the aesthetics in terms of the lighting. If you're facing a wall, then try to change the way in which your study room is or something like that, and see if that makes a lot of difference or not. Adding greenery to your workplace is an awesome and amazing thing to do. It's very easy. You can just go ahead and get a little plant and then add that in a corner of your workstation or wherever you're working, so that it will change the aesthetics and it will liven up the place in a very easy way. I personally like looking out of the window, so when I work, I usually have a window on on my side or in front of me. That's how I personally like to work. So you need to find out what is it aesthetically that gives you that energy and that pep to be like, oh my god, yes, I need to do this today. So try it out. I'm sure this is going to work for you. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. This is Mansi, Sanghavi, and if you're new here, definitely like, share and subscribe, because here's where we talk about career development and any and everything that will help you in your professional life. So stay tuned. I will see you in the next week.